I think you always have to be adding something crazy to your calendar. When I say crazy, I mean something that is so outlandish and so doesn't make sense to everybody else that it could only make sense to you. An example would be adding a 5K to my calendar. Like today, that doesn't make sense for me. Doesn't get me excited enough because I can go do a 5K. Now, 5, 6, 7 years ago, adding a 5K to my calendar is exactly what I needed to do. So I always believe you should be adding challenging, hard stuff to your calendar that doesn't even make sense in relation to who you are as a person today. If you add something to your calendar for 6 months down the road and that's a goal that you can accomplish today, how hard really is it? 2020 is gonna be a massive year for me. We've got several things planned. I've got Challenge Roth, which is an iron distance Ironman in Germany, which is next to World Championships in Kona, full distance Ironman World Championships. But in addition, we've set some other goals that are even tougher. Running a triathlon at iron distance is something I can already do today. So that's not something that inherently excites me and is hard. So we set out 3 things. First one is probably the easiest. It's Ironman World Championships in 2020. They're hosting it in New Zealand this year. I say the easiest to qualify because I've done it before, so it's not inherently something I believe that can't be done. The second thing is in February, I set off to run 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. A marathon each day. We'll start in Antarctica and run a marathon there. And then from there, we head off to Cape Town, Perth, Australia, Dubai, Madrid, Santiago, Chile, Miami. 7 marathons, 7 continents, 7 days. That's not the hardest thing. The hardest thing is if I return back from this trip and I'm alive, I'm gonna get $1 billion committed to charity. $1 billion. Why $1 billion? And it's a number that just kind of showed up for me. I've been able to create a few things in capitalism that have got to that $1 billion mark. I've been able to build a finance company in mortgage and finance that went way over $1 billion. I've been able to do over $1 billion in e-commerce. So, one day I thought, what is harder than building something that can do $1 billion in sales? And what came to mind was getting $1 billion committed for charity. Because nobody, it seems like, wants to donate to charity. Nobody feels like they can be a philanthropist. It's a hard thing to kind of, especially for entrepreneurs, active entrepreneurs like myself, that can really get their hands around the KPIs of how to do that. Even myself, still struggling with it. So it sounded so outlandish and so crazy, and that's why it made sense. So the last couple years, I've been fortunate enough to be around people that are doing big philanthropy in a big way. The people you see on the Giving Pledge, I've been fortunate enough to kind of hang out with those people and see where their hearts are. And it just kind of made me reflect on, as fun as it is to build business, I still want to do that. I think I'll probably do that until the day I die. Some of the things I've been able to do and been fortunate enough to do over the last couple years with some influential charities in our lives, I just felt the need, I wanted to amplify that. I want to be able to do more. I feel like, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I can do myself pales in comparison to $1 billion. Like, that's a number I can't do myself. I cannot go raise $1 billion of my own money. I can't do it. But, sometimes the most fun in life happen when you rally people around you and your idea, get people on board with it, and you do it as a team, you do it together. The ideas of being an entrepreneur and building these $1 billion companies, to many of us, it feels very easy. Like, we can scale these things up. They have very clear KPIs. We understand the KPIs and what it takes to build that. But so many of our tactics and techniques of building those companies are so disconnected, especially when it comes to philanthropy. What if we're able to use some of those same methodologies we use in business and KPIs and goals and brought that to philanthropy? What could happen? Could we go raise $1 billion? Could we get $1 billion committed to charity? We're gonna find out.